Bruce, can you adjust your camera? You're upside down, huh?
Yeah, I saw that.
And if you mute yourself, please.
Okay, Minnow, it's all yours, and you're
okay,
host.
Bruce, mute yourself, please. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to our webinar tonight. Could we mute Bruce, please? Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar tonight. The topic tonight is the magnetic power of purpose, or our why, that is pulling us forward. So we have a special guest tonight. We're hoping that we make a useful insight for everybody and enjoy everybody's insights on this topic. I was listening to some of Jim Rohn's motivational videos. And as most of you know him, he is an awesome person that we could still, after many years after his death, we can use his advice and his lessons. So his topic was that the greatest pole in our life should be the pole of the future. So the darkness of the past doesn't hold us behind. The stronger the goal and our why, the stronger the power that pulls us forward. Key phrase that he used was faith is the ability to see things that don't exist yet. So basically, if we look at the future, we can stay on track and we can work around our why and reasoning as to what kind of person we want to be, where we want to go, what goal we want to achieve, how much income we want to make, and who do we want to help, or what kind of person we want to be to begin with. So that helps us work around our reasoning. It kind of clear the path, seek for training, skill developments, participating relevant lectures, and getting spiritual coaching, physical coaching even, and reading books and learn from it. Also surrounding ourselves with smart individuals who have intelligent insights or goal-oriented, and we can learn from them and they can uplift us. So on that topic, we're going to start with Collins. Collins, thank you for being here tonight. If you can speak to the topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Mino. Greetings, everyone. I was just thinking like, oh, that I'll be called or maybe someone else. But Mino, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. You know, sometimes you just have to be ready because you never know when they will call you. Yeah, so I looked at the topic, Mino, this evening. Even I was chatting with Madi. Madi said, I told Madi I'll be coming because, you know, our time changed. Now it's 1:20 UK time, so we are a little bit early. So I said, all right, whilst I'm up, let me just hop in here and listen as well. But again, I've been called upon to speak. So looking at the topic, so the magical power of purpose pulling us forward. So 2 minutes, I look at all the magnetic, So I look at, again, the magnetic power of purpose. So why are we in this business? That's what the first thing that came in my mind. You know, there are certain powers that put us together. So I look at it in a way and I try to define it to make sense. So I say, okay, powerful connecting force between people. It brings them together, although they may not fully understand why they are feeling strongly on a certain thing. So we may not fully understand there is something that connects us and bring us together, you know. And again, when we look at the business we are in, sometimes we don't really get 100% inside of it. True, the 1% that we have is enough for all of us. But though you may not understand, we know we are in a good place. We know we are moving forward. So why are we attracted? That's the first thing I ask myself. Why are we so connected into this business? It is because of the vision of one man, Mr. Ash Mufara. His vision from the first day you joined this business called OnPassive, what you saw was somebody who never hyped anything up. You know, he just said, follow me and I will take you to the top. You don't even know where the top is. And I look at it biblically. It's just like when God appeared to Abraham and told Abraham, take your family and go to a land that I will show you. They never know where they were going. And they never questioned God to say, where am I going? Show me the land. The good thing is Abraham never revealed it to Sarah. Maybe the wife should have said, you know what? What? Living all this place and you're just telling me just to walk with you in a place of nowhere, the land of nowhere. We don't even know where we are. This modern day and age, we will question it. But he trusted God and said, you know what? I know you will lead me. I know things turn out to be fine. So we came into OnPassive believing that our future will be bright through the vision of one man, Mr. Ash Mufara. That is our belief. And that is why we are magneted to OnPassive. We are glued to it because there is someone who is there telling you your life is better in OnPassive than out of OnPassive. There is just no way you can get it wrong. We have a common purpose and a common dream to better not only our lives, but to better others, to change, to transform ourselves, our community, and even the world at large. That is the purpose we are in. That is why we are so connected. And this is our dream and our vision. 1.4 million plus of us. And those who will come again, they will see this vision and they will glue to it. That is the magnetic force that will pull a lot of people, because OnPassive was built based on the dream of humanity. As I said, take humanity out of it, I will not have any dream again. There is nothing, because it's just like a day-to-day job. It is because of uplifting humanity. That is why we are glued. We don't talk about what we will get in OnPassive, but we are thinking about how we will help our neighbors, how we will take care of our community in a way that, you know, life will be better more and more. That is what it is. And when I look at that magnetic purpose, that is the purpose we are in. You know, the purpose of pulling us forward. OnPassive is moving forward, whether we like it or not. I always say, whether we like it or not, OnPassive is moving. And because of that purpose, that is why we are in, and we are marching along as Mr. Ash Mufara is moving from phase 1, and we're talking about phase 2. Who is not excited when you hear about phase 2? Maybe this, from the day I hear about phase 2, I was just like, if we can see phase 1 and we say, wow, this is it. Think about phase 2. That is the magnetic force that is pulling us, you know, together for a common purpose and a common dream, you know, and I believe all of us will achieve it, you know. So I just want to thank you, Mino. Thank you very much for letting me speak.
Thank you for showing up as always, and always staying upbeat and ready to speaking your heart, Collins. So you said that we're here because we're connected at heart, and we saw the vision of Ash Mufara, and we're on the same wavelength. Then you said that we all have common goals. So we go to Daryl Cook. Thank you for being here. Daryl, day one, when we joined OnPassive, we might have joined it for different reasons, financially, most of us. And our goal could have been different than today, 5-6 years down the road. Do you think the rearranging of the goal and strengthening our why, does that have anything to do with our circle of support If you speak to that, please.
Well, I'm going to be completely honest. I can't wait for the paychecks. But and even if it doesn't come, if you take a look at just the panel here and those who are listening online, I'm sure that they can all agree that if you came in, the last day that we were allowed to come in, or if you came in the day after you heard the audios, I'm sure that you've grown, number one, in business sense. So there's a draw. There's something there that people have come attuned to. So speaking to what Colin says, you find whatever it is that's going to allow you to look forward. I was thinking about when he was talking about, what puts this whole team together. Have you ever gone in your car and there's a principle? If you look way out, your car will typically go where if you got your hands on the wheel and you look way out, the car's going to go where you're looking, despite the turns and the curves. Just don't do it when there's a lot of cars, please. But I live in the Adirondack Mountains, and literally when I used to travel, it was 20 miles to work. So there were times where I saw no cars in 20 miles. But so if you try this, but it's a principle that does work. And if you apply it to what's happened to a lot of us here with OnPassive, I think that that's true. We've had a lot of curves. Anybody disagree with that? How many people agree we've had a lot of curves? Yeah. And I don't think any business starts with a straight line. You have a vision. My wife always teases me. I never see the trees. I could be in a forest. I don't see the trees because I'm focused on where I want to go. I don't know if I got a pine tree or a beech tree or whatever. If I'm focused on where I'm going, that's it. And everybody else has to pay the price. But, and that's what happened to me with OnPassive. I saw that there's a possibility when Dan Street brought it up to me. I really didn't have a desire, but as I got more involved and things were moving on, my business sense went from here to here. I got involved in the multi-level marketing world back in actually it was before that. It was 1976 or 7 in a company called Amsoil. It was, it's still out there today, the product. But I understood that leveraging people's time and energy can make us, advance more. Back then it was money. And now I realize it's ideas. And again, as Colin brought up, common good for all. And that's what we've learned with Mr. Mufarah. So we've not only have this purpose of understanding business more, we realize that whenever you create anything in the business world, if it's for advancing the human endeavor, whether it's time management, whether it's health, whatever that business focus is, if it can help humanity. I was reading a thing about, well, I don't want to get political, but there's a gentleman in Austin, Texas. He owned 14 Dairy Queens, ice cream. And the government wants to force him to do certain things with his salaried employees. His father had one franchise and it grew into this mega franchise of 14 different stores. He had a purpose and a focus, and now he's challenged with this major change in his life. But you think about that. So his whole purpose now with having the Dairy Queen was to provide a fast food restaurant where people could come in fast, get great service, and move on and have the ability to pay his staff very well. So you see, and now it's being interrupted, but he's already making changes. How can I make it better? So there, to me, that was a proper focus of a business. Here's a man very concerned. Yes, the law, but more importantly, how can he help his employees? And I look at that with Mr. Mufarah. We're not his employees, but we've been invited in basically for zero, in my opinion. For $0, we've been invited in to the possibility of, yeah, be successful, maybe monetarily, but more so in ideology, in taking the principles, what he calls his moral and ethical attitude of business, and to be able to change possibly an entire world of online marketing. Is that amazing or what? And so my brother, I wanted to give a little tribute to my brother Dave, who just passed. He was still working. He was 71 years old. He would have been 72 in December. He has been working since he was 12 years old. He started mowing lawns in our little town. He loved the freedom of having cash in his pocket to be able to go out and get what he wanted. He's always had that focus of accomplishing a job. Now, I'm not saying that he was very good with money, because he wasn't, but he knew that money had power. And the one thing that he always wanted to do was to advance life for himself and for his family. But he lacked one thing. He lacked the vehicle. And when he got in very early with me in the multi-level marketing, because he understood it's a possibility that we could leverage each other's time to make better. So here's this guy from 12 years old to still working at 72 until the day he couldn't lift up his hammer anymore. Literally could not lift up his hammer anymore. He had a purpose to make better, and money was just the tool that was going to help him get there. This guy could build hot rod engines from ground up. He could build houses from ground up. And it was amazing. There was nothing the man, if he put a tool in his hand, he could make it work magic. So that was his skill set, but his purpose. And I'll never forget the day that he got onto OnPassive. He said, Daryl, I don't have anything to leave my family other than the house that I have now. And that's so far in debt, because I'll have to live until I'm probably 80, 90 years old before I can even come close to paying it off. His wife's still working. She's a nurse. God bless her. She's in her 60s and still working, many hours as a nurse. So here he is. His final purpose was to learn everything he could about OnPassive. His wife told me that even on the days he didn't feel well, if we had a webinar, bang, he was there. He would take time off work, or he would take his extended lunch break. He was a caretaker for this family, so he had flexibility there, but he took the time. He wanted to learn. He would call me up and he'd go, okay, how can I build this thing? I really want to build this thing. He was just so excited about it. And in the end, when we had our final chats about it, I made sure I had all his passwords and all of that, because his wife knew a little bit, but she really didn't know anything about it. And he set up his children with accounts. So he said to me, he says, now you sure you got this all there? Because he says, remember, it's my last hope. My last hope. I can't lift anything. I can't build anything anymore. But he said, this was my legacy. He says, I don't know if it's going to make a dime, but he said, that was my last and final goal, was to make OnPassive and to see it through. And I said, Dave, you have seen it through. You just haven't seen the manifestations of what it's going to do. And he said, you know what? I think you're right. So that's, to me, a simple man with great skills who just saw the vision of Mr. Mufareh and wanted to know more and know more and know more. So I just wanted to share that with you all.
Daryl, a big, huge hug from each and every one of us to you. Thank you for sharing such precious memory. We can only imagine what kind of void is in your heart with him being gone. Bless his soul.
Hey, thank you very much.
You mentioned that one of his goals was to advance his life first, then help others. And you also mentioned, for one thing, you cannot wait for the paycheck. You're right. We completely relate to that. we want to get to a point that we feel confident financially and take care of ourselves, as Ash mentioned over and over many times, then we can expand it to helping others. Perfect. So, yes, we have done some business growing. We have learned all the technology for somebody like me that, just knew how to turn the computer on. And we have gained a family that we feel loved, respected, we feel valued, and we have a place to go. So we have gained so much outside. Well, the money is going to kick in. But besides every other value, we've gained so much already. Now we go to Marty. Marty, there is a power to ask and manifest, Marty. Jim Rohn says you got to manifest and ask like an enthusiastic child that don't even worry about how father or mother is going to provide. Just ask for it and be excited about it. Power of manifestation. And the biblical reference to it is that ask and ye shall receive. If you would speak to that as related with our goal and purpose and our why, please.
Yeah, Daryl, that was outstanding, by the way. Absolutely. Well, I looked at your title and I had to put it in a way that I saw it and how I felt. So I did take a couple notes. I usually don't do that. Even in the Bible, Jesus almost always said to the person he was about to heal, do you believe it'll happen? Boom. Yes. And that was one part of, you have to believe. When I got non-passive and I learned about, I started to know who this man was, I started believing. And that's where that magic power of purpose pulling us forward. It's different between being moving forward because we have to, or being drawn forward because we want to. Purpose gives us clarity and giving meaning to each step we take. And I realize when me and Chris do our lives, or I do whatever I do, I realize from this title, that what I'm really doing is I want people to feel that pull that I feel. And if you do, everything else is done. Once you have it, and I can see people, I see before I see they have that magnetic pull towards something bigger than themselves. You can see it. And I believe that's what Ash started with. And as the magnet went, first thing is if he's north, I have to be south so we can be drawn. If I'm north and he's north, I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to understand it. And yeah, we're not going to go together. And this goes back to the history of man. This pull and negative and positive has been going on since man could walk, okay? I mean, you could go back to Jesus. Many people heard him. Very few understood him, and they got it. So it's not that unique that this happens in life. For everybody in non-passive, at least 10 people told you no, probably, right? So there's 10 million more people out there that are coming later because maybe they didn't have the magnetic pull, but what happens as time goes on, they're going to see it vicariously through you. I believe that. Perfect gives us more clarity, giving meaning to each step we take, such as a strong pull. It changes things around us, our thoughts, our relationships, and even the way we challenge. When we are pulled for a purpose, we feel sense that what we are aiming for is a certainty. When you get that, when you have the pull, when you have that feeling, like I know sometimes something will happen at the website and I get 20 or 30 people telling me, what do you think this is? What do you think? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, they're not in that line of pull. And if they were, they'd feel so much more comfortable. Because I couldn't imagine feeling like that every day. And I don't. And the more, that's why when I'm talking, I want people to feel what I feel. It has nothing to do with how much you know, how much you don't know. When you believe, and I've done this a long time, like Daryl, I've been working, looking for something bigger. I always thought if they could do it, I could too. And MLM made sense. I understood the concept. I didn't realize it's rigged against you, but I understood the concept of the meaning of it. and that what we are aiming for is a certain to happen. I feel that. Even if there's a setback, this has all become part of the journey with a larger meaning. Look, I believe the harder it is, the better the prize. I've been in companies that I got in, they said, we're going to launch in 4 weeks. 4 weeks. I thought that was forever then. So we go and go and go and go. It was quick and it ended quick. It was easy and it ended easy. There was no, you got to build towards something. You got to be a rock. You have to have that foundation. You have to believe. And Ask did a ricochet magnetic pull, and some heard it, some didn't. But the more we go and the stronger we get, the more we'll pull people the same direction. First, you got to believe. You got to believe. The magnetic pull of purpose, it's infectious. People will follow you because I don't know what engineer Mike has, but this freaking guy is on the move. I want to go with him. They don't even ask you. They don't first ask you why. This is a people business. That's what happened to all the other business in MLM. They were focused on product, and 2 or 3% won, 98% loses everywhere they go. And yet they keep going because they're looking for that one thing that is so different than anything else. And thank God above, I found it in 2019. This is what I've been looking for. That's why while I'm here and I'm doing what I'm doing, it's not work to me. Does it take time? Yeah. Is there sometimes I get aggravated? Yeah. But I wouldn't trade this last 6 years for nothing. Nothing. Because I truly believe the award that we're going to see, you'll forget about the bad things in the journey or the setbacks. When others witness a person or organization driven by genuine purpose, when people witness it, it often draws them in. This is fact. Creating communities of people with shared value, aligned ambition. What do we have in this company? Am I saying anything? This should be written about this company. We're aligned together and we have aligned ambition. This is why purpose-led organizations, for example, tend to inspire loyalty, boom, from customers. I'm going to add this one, from founders, employees alike. Their mission isn't just a slogan, but it's a call to participate in something larger than themselves. That's massive. Purpose gives us endurance. Purpose holds us steady, and that consistency gives us the fortitude to push through moments of fatigue or doubt and big setbacks, Mr. Mufarah. The sense of pull rather than push, because it removes the constant need to build willpower. You have to lift that willpower. Oh, I got to push hard. If you get this, you don't need to work on willpower. You can let it go. We feel like we are in a flow, moving with a current, pulled by something far bigger than ourselves. You're not pushing your way through, you're being pulled through. And once you get that concept of unpassive, because Ash is doing all the clearing, he's the one with the machete clearing the land, he's the one fighting the snakes and whatever, so that we can walk on dry land and go into a beautiful life ahead. Change our relationship with time. This is a big one. It changes our relationship with time. By being drawn towards something life-changing, we become less focused on short-term rewards. when we know it's bigger and we know it's better, you're not thinking about a small little box with a pet rock in it. You're thinking about life changing. When Ash talks, when he says, I don't know what you're dreaming, but dream bigger, you know what audacity that takes him to say that? So if he can say that, and he hasn't gone anywhere now, which 99.9% of any man or woman would have packed their bags and left, that pull that he has is strong enough to pull all of us if we let it happen. And if you have that pull of the short term, oh, what are we going to do here? Oh, I can't do that. Oh, what is it? You know how nice it feels not to have that? And it's not because I'm anything special. It's because I looked at where we're going. I looked at the possibility and I realized the vehicle I needed to get where I want my life to be and my family is with Mr. Mufareh. I did it on my own. Yes, I built huge teams, huge. But what happened? I could not get the structure of bringing everybody with me. I didn't have a big enough magnet. People followed me. I didn't have a problem with that. But we need to get on a ship or a vessel that was built to carry many, many, many and change the world. And that's Mr. Mufareh. This magnetic quality of purpose pulling us forward is both grounding and liberating. Its roots using something important lets us soar forward with what's possible. And I just want to say that when she told me the name, I said, you know, I have all that, but I'm going to have to take this rambling head of mine and put it down in writing. But that's what I mean. Why we are what we are and where we go. Listen, I said, oh, I wish this had happened when I was 20. I thought about it. No, I don't. I'd be dead at 30. Me at 20 didn't need to make a lot of money. Trust me. Me at 20 need to do what I did. Me at 30 need to do. Did I pray about things getting better? Yeah, God answered my prayer. He just decided to wait 40 years. A lot of things happen in 40 years, but it's worth it. Anyway, that's all I got.
Thank you, Marty. Right. So nothing precious comes easily, right? You mentioned challenges and obstacles are necessary for us to appreciate the outcome. And if we really want something really, really bad, the how-to comes with it. We don't even have to know how things come together. But if your reason and your why is strong enough, it seems like the universe line up and it comes together. So with that, we go to Engineer Mike. If you would say a few words on the magnetic power of your why and your purpose holds us forward.
Good evening, everybody. That was a good one. Good morning to my brother Collins and other people from Africa joining us tonight. I just want to go with it this way, Mino, understanding purpose. So, which is the reason why something exists or it is being done. That is understanding purpose. Now, personally, it relates to like your individual goals and your values and what you find meaningful in your life. So our CEO sits down, he thinks of the concepts, he thinks of what has been going on in the world, and he wants to deliver a better ecosystem, a better business, which will be able to take care of all these challenges one after another and to evolve and to involve everybody in the world, which is very powerful. Now, everybody that has a strong sense of purpose can provide a clear directives, okay? He can make clear decisions. And also, he can act on very pertinent issues. Now, talking about psychologically, right? Somebody that has a clear purpose, right? can enhance motivation, resilience, and overall well-being of individuals that are surrounded you in whatever you are doing, right? So this can lead to the increase of productivity, willingness, and changes of the face of the challenges that you face day and day in the business that you are about to uphold or you are about to pursue, which is very true. Now, if you come collectively, the scale of our collectivity, the collectiveness of all of us on perseverance, the force, because we are getting to that magnetic point. And what is the magnetic point? If you remember, when you have two magnets, pick them up, okay? Remember, if you put them together, the light poles, they will try to revert themselves. They will not be attracted, right? But the unlike poles, negative and positive, they will attract themselves. But if you take a positive and a positive, or a negative and a negative, they will repel. They will not be attracted. So all of us who got this concept, all of us that got the concept of unpassive, sitting right here, and the ones watching us now, are all attracted like that magnet to our CEO's vision, to his purpose, and to everything that he's coming out to tell us. We say thank you for what he brought to us, and we are there to be with him, to stick with him right till the end. That is his purpose. So we bought the idea of what he brought as a business, and we are steadily following him, and we are stick to him as that magnetic power for us who understand and are following him right to the end. That is what I have to add, Minu. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Amazing. Engineer Mark, thank you so much. Always speaking methodically. Jean Aliva, for us to be able to regroup, and we know things are getting rolled in, and so that we have an organized plan and put down how to put one step in front of another towards our purpose and goal. Do you have any suggestions? Does it help if we put down what kind of person we want to be, what we want to achieve? Put it down. We can always rearrange it and change it if you speak to that, and whatever else you have. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Minu. Wow, you just put my brain on a completely different track than what I was going to say. I did want to say,
you follow what you want to say.
No worries. I am loving this because you had one topic, and then how many people, a half dozen people have spoken, all different perspectives, different insights. Is absolutely amazing. I think that's the strength of what we have going on here, is we're unique sparks. We're all, human beings. We're all, I consider it like a divine spark, but each one is so special. For creating a plan, I mean, that sort of works into what I was going to say. When I think about the magnetic power of purpose pulling us forward, the first thing that occurred to me was that the time that it has taken us to build this and then overcome the obstacles and all of this that we've been through, this journey has given us time to think about our plans, think about our purpose, think about what we really want. When we started, we probably had some, maybe more shallow plans. And I don't think there's one person among us who hasn't completely transformed and even found their real purpose. Maybe some of us are still looking for that real single purpose, that why that people talk about. But if we're taking this time and using it valuably to really look at what jazzes us up, what do we focus on, what fills us with joy, and focus on that, and then that brings our laser focus towards the goal, then we will be building. When I was thinking about magnetic, see, again, I have so many things I want to say now. My first thought was that it's also momentum. Not just you got that magnetic pull that Ash has gathered us all together. We're moving forward, but we have now built momentum such that even though we're going through these obstacles and these, what some people might call waiting periods while things are being built, and we could lose momentum, but we're not, because we have this magnetic draw. We each support and revitalize and inspire each other every single day, multiple times a day. So we never have really time to let that momentum stop. So it is like this magnetic pull going forward, so that no matter what happens with OnPassive, no matter when it happens or how it might transform and change and just become something new as we go into the next phase, we are not going to stop, because we have this magnetic pull going forward. And we have, as Colin said, we have a common, I think it was Colin's, we have a common dream to lift humankind, and we have built this momentum going forward. And I just wanted to say two things. One, inspired by what Engineer Mike said when he was talking about the magnetic, the positive and the negative, and Marty mentioned this as well, that it's not the positive and positive connecting. So you could look at us, oh, we think we're all this positive people coming together. We're all attracted to one another. It's all, happy bubbles of love and everything like that. But really, we have this positive love force within us attracted to this negative way of the world, the way things have been, the way the way the world has been structured, the poverty, the corruption, all these things, and our positive is drawn to that negative to transform it. So Engineer Mike, I just wanted to thank you for that, because it just gave me a totally new way of looking at the positive and negative coming together powerfully for a purpose to transform the way that the world is right now. And the last thing I want to say is there's a great, I don't know if it's an actual quote or whether just a concept that Neville Goddard spoke about a lot. And that was, what you want wants you. What your purpose and your desire that you're putting out into the world is out there, and it wants you as much as you want it, and it's drawing you. And as long as we get out of our own way and we don't do anything that would keep that from happening, our self-doubt, our self-sabotage, any kind of thing like that, if we can keep ourselves focused in on the vision of Ashmu Fara, the larger movement, we will absolutely get there, and we'll get there together. And I hope that was at least partially on the topic. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Jean. Always. So you talked about gaining momentum as a group of, like, let's say we're hiking a mountain. As a group, if somebody's like having like a little bit of injury, we help him up or help her up. As a group, we help propel forward towards the goal, right? So, Nural, I want you to link that to the power of circle of people that we are surrounding ourselves with, and how does that help achieving our goal or staying on course? Thank you, Jean.
Thank you, Manu, and thank you to all other speakers. Again, like Jean, you see or hear different perspectives of what this feels for you or what it pulls up in you, as into your thoughts around this. So I've written a couple of things down, and thank you for asking me that question, because I think it aligns with what I've actually thought or felt. And that is, purpose pulls you towards the future through challenges and difficulties. Now, we all have lives, we all have challenges, we all have difficulties. Some, they last for a lot longer than what we ever thought. So if you don't have a purpose, which I think for me, I found it late in life, compared to what I thought And I suppose I didn't really think about it. You talk about people, you know, how can we do this? How can we do that? You know, you have different goals along the way, but you never really think of it as a purpose. Purpose has a lot of meaning. You know, what does it mean to you? I want you to think about that, because the word purpose itself, you know, draws you, pulls you towards where you need to go. Now, you know, I'm a firm believer in the dear Lord above, and I know that our purpose is to fulfill many things in our life, or go through certain things so that our purpose is strong. Okay, our purpose we are drawn to because of those things, because of those difficulties, because of the crappy stuff that we've had to go through. We now stand strong in our purpose, not just swaying this way and that way, because if you don't necessarily, but I think the journey to, you know, becoming who you are, or the purpose, has many times going off track. You know, we all find this, oh my goodness, this is the wrong way. So I tried a lot of things in my life too, as far as business goes. A lot was successful in my bricks and mortar businesses. However, I was no good at faking it till you make it. Because if you know me well enough, I'm a very real person. And when you try and fake things, you know, that's where you get off track, I think. So I believe that the magnetic pull, and not necessarily, you take it however you want, but I believe it's in our hands. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because we need to turn that magnet around and pull those people up. Okay. You need to pull them towards us. Turn your magnet around and help somebody and uplift them. And the more I do that, the more emotional I get. I see so much beauty in our people, you know, in our founders. I see what they want. They just want to be heard. They just want to be loved. They want to be seen. And then they in turn can help the next person. So I believe your personality and your story will be the magnet that draws others to you. Remember, we can't go out there and bring in 1 million people personally, but our story and sharing our story will allow the next person to share their story, and their story will resonate with somebody else. And one by one, we resonate and we draw people in. We draw people in because of our hearts. And the heart of Ashmafara is the biggest heart that I have seen in this world, that allows us to come with him. He had his big magnet. He drew what was the best in the world, I would say. And don't think I'm being critical of anybody else who's not in on passive. I'm not, because we're all drawn to certain things in life for that purpose, for that reason. I think that's about it. Like I said, turn your hands, turn yourself around. Your hands are your magnetic field, your story, share it. Don't be afraid of saying or thinking, and I hear this often, I don't really have anything to say. My life wasn't really, you know, that much. It is. And when you find people, you know, I call it the diamond within, shining the light, whatever, you see a different person come out of them, because all of a sudden they've just been given the opportunity to be able to share their story, to shine their light, you know, to bring somebody else. They're just so grateful. So be grateful for our journey. Be grateful if you haven't found your purpose yet, because you are still being trained, and you know what I mean? Like you're still learning, and there's different things that you may have to go through. Is my purpose just what it is now? No, because it will always grow. So I just wanted to share that just from my side of things. Don't worry about the difficulties. You're going to go through them anyway, just as Ash has with on passive. You know, the difficulties, if we had no difficulties, who do you think we'd be? We need them. We need them to grow. And sometimes we need to hit rock bottom, which I did many times. And the only way is up. You know, Ash's words, you know, that we will, the lessons that you learn going towards or hitting rock bottom are far greater than just climbing the mountain. You know, it's really important that we look at ourselves and say, I'm important, I'm here for a reason, and take that reason and go out and help the world. Thank you, Manu. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Nora. So you spoke about becoming a person that you want to attract and draw the like-minded, like-hearted people towards you and lift them up and let them do the same. So those are the skills that we can put down individually or as a group, what it takes, what kind of training, spiritual coaching, or even physical health coaching, or any kind of lectures or seminars that is helpful to participate. Also, yeah, it can be changed, right? As we grow during the past 5-6 years, we've learned that our it's been developed, rearranged, and reevaluated towards strengthening our why. And so, with that, I'm going to go to Sherry Dershui, please, if you put your words on that. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. This has been very powerful again, as usual. All the speakers and everybody on here, and also Manu for putting this together, and everybody who's helped in the background. As we came into passive, there was already something there. And that something, whatever power you believe in, I believe in the Lord, so I'm going to go with that, has brought us here. And through the growth of each person, one by one, and starting with Ashmafar and his lovely wife and family, who created this magnet of power, which helped us in turn, because we've been on a lot of webinars where he's talked a lot about not just so much entrepreneurship, but even things to help you in your life. Even things to help to make you think kind of outside the box and think of how you can help others. And in there, not everybody catches it then, but when they're ready, they catch that little niche that he's talked about, or we each talked about, or maybe I've talked about something that didn't catch your eye, but that same another person said something different in a different way. Like Narelle has a certain way she says things that I'm drawn to that maybe somebody else is drawn to somebody else's thing. So in that impactful magnet that brought us all here together, knowing that we have a purpose here on earth, which we all know, even when we're little, we think, oh, I want to be a fireman or something like that, but we're not sure. As life takes us through life, we find something. And in non-passive, we have all found that in ourselves. Maybe you didn't even know it when you got into non-passive. Maybe you were like, oh, okay, I'm just going to hang out here because I need to hang out with people who are positive, or I'm really down and out. I need to hang out with this group because they're helping me grow. They're helping me feel good inside. The passion, the purpose that we have here all started again from the magnet upstairs, which is the beautiful magnet, the rainbow, which is God, whatever you want to call it, and then trickled down to he already brought us together. He already brought us Ash, had this all planned. It was already planned. So the magnet has come together to make us grow. We're here. There's people who have came and left, and who just like maybe it scared them because of how we are. They're not used to the positive, or they're like, it made them feel like, am I worthy? Yes, you are worthy. You're a person, you're an individual, you matter. And so with the magnet and your purpose here on earth, we all have something different. We don't know what it is sometimes. Like Narelle was saying, you got to go through life. Sometimes you don't know really what it is, but it catches you. And us all together here in non-passive, we've all found that. And we will continue to find that. And it will continue to grow. Our purpose will be like when somebody says, oh, I want to help this little people over here. And then you're thinking, oh, I forgot about those people. And then your brain just goes, oh, yeah, that sounds good, like a good idea. So all our brains together are working together and bringing more positive, bringing the great positive magnet to help all our world To me, that is incredible. So not just here, all of us founders and pioneers, but also the members are going to find out that this is more than just, and we're not like no other business. They will be drawn to us because of that. They'll be like, this is different. I got to have it. They might not even use some of the things we have, but there will be things they're going to use because we're not just one thing. As I always say, we're a gazillion things. And the power, the magnet is going to grow us together. And that what's so cool, I love, is not just in the US, it's worldwide. And our world needs fixing right now in more ways than you could think of. So I don't know if that answered your question, but I believe that this was meant to be because of the magnet of the higher power, whatever you believe in, the universe. Everything has it, and it's all about timing. So know that the timing is perfect and you are in the perfect place. And you out there in the world, you're in the perfect place. You know your purpose. Find it deep down here in your heart. And I'm passive, that makes it easier to do because of what we have, because of who we are together. That's going to help our world. I love it. I love you guys, and you all matter. Thank you so much, Manu, and thank you, Ash Mafar, and your lovely wife, and the amazing tech team who have gone above and beyond to help our world to be more loving, more peaceful, more equal. I bow down to them. Thank you. Love you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Yes, the power of collaboration, Sherry, you talked about. Teaching each other the skills, the insights, and sharing ideas, learning from our leaders that up to this point for the past 5-6 years have helped carried us. The way I say it, carried us on their shoulders and helping us to stay focused and on the track. So that's another power that helps us stay focused on the goal. That goal, whatever that might be for individual purposes. Francine, you are also, thank you, Sherry. You're also one of the most dedicated individuals that regularly participate webinars and put your love, time, precious time and effort in interpreting to French language or speaking your own heart. If you'd like to, obviously you have a purpose. That's why you're here. So if you would like to share with us a few words on the topic, thank you.
Thank you, Minu, for having us here. And I don't know what to add after all these people have spoken. On-passive is, for me, on-passive is that place where we have this large diversity and where we combine all the pool you can find here and there. And this is really important to realize that we are coming from so different backgrounds, put together just because we have one thing that puts us together. It's lifting others higher and higher. It's because we are concerned about others, which means we have love within us. Because someone without love will not care about what is going around. And this is the fuel, I think, for almost half of the people in on-passive. Of course, the first thing was for us to get more facilities for ourselves, finance, to empower us. But once we have listened to our CEO, Ash Mufare, we realize that it goes far more than money, because money is not the issue. It's a done deal. And if we keep on coming, it's because we have this lifting humanity that remains in the midst of everything. It's really important for us to realize that we are twinkled inside one another, and one cannot succeed if the others are not. For me, it's something really, really important. And coming to each meetings we do is like training ourselves, getting more empowerment, because it makes us stronger. You know, if you want to be a surgeon and you have no practice, I doubt you will be a good surgeon. The more you practice, the more you become better and better. So coming to gatherings like this and listening to each one of us is also the best way for us to become the better versions of Ashmo Fares, the better versions of ourselves in order to help the world around us. So I cannot add much, simply to trust what we have come to OnPassive to do. Every day we have to look at it as in a mirror and say, okay, I am in OnPassive to do this because I believe the world could be a better place. So this will keep us on a daily basis. Each time I look at myself in the mirror, I see Collins Mana, I see Dr. Benny, and we are together to make the world a better place. I think I will stop here, and thank you, Mino, for having us here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Francine. Amazing the way you said it. Every time I look at the mirror, I see Collins, I see Marty, I see Chris, because we're just so connected anymore at heart. Thank you. So, Chris Johnson, would you say a few words and wrap it up? Thank you. Thank you, Marcy.
First of all, if you're looking in the mirror and you see my face, you're in trouble. Let me tell you that right now. Hey, good evening, my fellow brothers and sisters who I love. I want to do a little fix on that not official update yet from Ash earlier. And I want to say it again because a lot of people, we weren't live yet. So myself and Marty, we did a live today from information from Ash. There was one little thing I forgot to say, and I'm going to repeat it. My bad, my fault. I missed a little bit of information he told me, and that was that he was going to give his guys a break because they've been working around the clock for 2 or 3 days working, and when they come back, they're going to get this thing going. Yeah, we know you could put this and this and that, and some things you can't. Just wait. Let those guys sleep a little bit. We're not going anywhere, so it'll be fun. Wow, how do I follow Collins, Daryl, Marty, Engineer Mike, Gene, Narelle, Sherry, Francine? You make me follow Francine? Are you kidding me? All of you guys said a bunch of beautiful things, different opinions. One word that I love completely is trust. Faith and trust is how I try to live my life. Am I perfect at it? Oh my gosh, no. I ask that big guy upstairs every day, you better give me a little more strength in that one. Sometimes I falter a little bit, and I think that's just normal being a human being. So I'm looking at your title, The Magnetic Power of Purpose Pulling Us Forward. Very interesting title, man. I have to say, and thank you for having me on the show and doing this for us. I guess I look at it differently, but I think you all get the same, we all agree on the same way. Before I got on here, I find my inspiration on social media because I have the opportunity to go through millions and millions of people's lives all over the world, different stories, whether they're good, bad, or sad. And I'll be honest, I look for the sad stories, but I look for the good ones too. And just before I came on here, we got all these lousy wars going, and they're showing a little boy. He's in tears. He's crying. His father was blown up. Mother was killed. He's in the streets. He's hungry. To me, that's a very magnetic purpose that we have to do things to help individuals, because all over the world, we have a lot of bad things happening. I wish I had a button to press and say, stop all the wars. So these kids, women, men don't have to go through this stuff. But that's my magnetic. I'm drawn now because of this company, because of all of you, to people that just were in the wrong place at the right time, I should say. Witnessing anyone being killed or blown up or just living their life, it breaks my heart. Every time I see a family in court watching the person that murdered their child, and blasting them and saying bad things, I hope you suffer. And then someone comes out of nowhere in the family and said, listen, I got to follow what the Lord says. You made it hard on me, but I forgive you. And that was a beautiful thing. That's a humongous magnetic pull. And that's something that God don't wish that upon anybody, but that's something that man had to pull from the bottom of his heart and realize that it doesn't do any good to or spit on someone or anything like that. My magnetic pull just pulls a lot harder on me because I do have a really good life. I've had a good life. I've had some ups and downs. And I'm blessed. I feel blessed. I thank God every day for it. I thank God for all of you. And I know that there's literally 8 billion people in the world. And there's a very good portion of them who don't have a good life or never had a good life, or they got generational crap from generations and generations of the same thing. We've witnessed on here, and I'm not trying to belittle any country or anyone, but being in this company allowed me to hear from every country in the world, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's a huge magnetic pull for me, because if I never would have got into this company, you hear us all the time, well, I wouldn't have friends. I got friends everywhere. I don't call them friends, I call them family. And anytime my family struggles or are struggling, that breaks my heart. That's that pull. Marty and I, we talk a lot, literally way too much. We're like two cackling chickens every day on the phone. And we have some personal issues in our families with our kids. And he made a comment to me, it's hard. We talk to all these people and then you want to help as much as you can in your own family. And there's just sometimes you can't do nothing about it. And that's when I say you got to give it to God. I'm a huge Christian. I'm not perfect at all by any means. I get called a lot of names from a lot of people because I do this. And that's okay, because Jesus Christ went through a lot worse than I did, let me tell you. And he served a purpose for all of us. I'm not even close. I can't even bat an eye to what he went through. But if we don't have a magnetic pull from our heart to other people's hearts, none of us are ever going to win. We're always going to fail. We have a lot of hate in this world. I have seen in a passive family, we get in some arguments once in a while. We have some disputes. That's normal in a family. But I see a lot of people come together that maybe their countries were not always happy with each other. And I think I haven't said that in a while, but it's amazing what a little joy and happiness can do to anyone's heart and mind. Forgiving, forgetting, and moving forward. Ash Mafara, I'm sure he's forgiving and forgetting, and he's definitely moving forward. I've learned a lot from him just by listening to a talk. I don't ever hear him say, again, I'll say it, me, myself, and I. It's always about us. It's always about give him a chance to do this right. This is my baby, and you all are important to me. He says, I can't fail because all of you. He cares about people. Of course, some people don't think that, but that's okay. Everyone's entitled to one of those opinions that we all have. But his pull is very, very powerful, because his pull is one way, forward, no matter what hits him, no matter what's on his side or in front of him, in the back of him, he just keeps going. I have a lot of appreciation for all of you that do get on these webinars on a Friday night, when you could be out doing something different. I see the same faces. You're all dedicated individuals. I myself am not out at there somewhere dancing. Marty and I talked about this again today. My family says to me, how come you're not doing nothing anymore? because I have a purpose. I have a magnetic pull because this is very important to me. It's very important to millions of people. It's going to be very important to the world. And that's how I explain it. I'm going to be 59 years old this year. I've done a lot of things. I've had some fun. I've had my ups. I've had some downs. But this is the most fun I've ever had in my life, being able to talk to people and hear their stories, their traditions, a lot of things. But it's an amazing company that's brought people that, you know, might not have liked each other. I mean, me and Narelle, woo, we have some fun times with words from different country, you know, to different country, how they say. She still says shrimp on the Barbie was in the movies. We don't say that over here, you know, and that's funny to me because we learned from that. But that's the glory and the magnetic pull that this one guy put together. He did not set out and say, okay, here's what you're going to do. I'm going to say what I got to say. You're going to believe in me. And then you're going to gather all these people and have webinars 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And we did that. He didn't tell us to do that. We just did it. And all of a sudden people start saying, I got an idea. Let me try this. Hey, I want to do this. There's that pull of love and compassion is, I believe in this company. I believe it's a God-fearing company. I don't care who you pray to. I pray to someone. I think we all pray to the same God, but we just got different names. I do believe that Jesus Christ walked this earth as the Son of God. But that's my opinion. But am I going to argue with someone that's maybe Muslim that thinks something else? No, I'm not. Because he's my brother no matter what. And God says forgive. God says don't judge. My magnetic pull is so strong for life and people, it's unbelievable. Because if it wasn't, I'd probably be out dancing somewhere or tipping a bottle, having fun. This is fun because this right here, this fun is going to turn into a joy. They say when you die and you go to heaven, it's blissful. Where Daryl Cook's brother's up there, he's got no pain. He's probably got all kind of beautiful tools around him. He's making all kind of things. And it's blissful. You don't think about anything negative. And it's sunshine and just warmth. All right. That's how I want everyone to feel in life because we got one shot at life. Most of us spend it miserable. Am I wrong? Not everybody. Some people have pretty good lives here and there, but we see misery all around us. We go through struggles with bills and health, fires, tornadoes. I mean, it's all down here. We got to find a way to make it better. We got to find a way to enjoy it. The magnetic pull that you should have in your heart is you jumped on this company, you joined this company because your faith told you, man, this is the right thing to do. This company is going to take people in many different places. And I think the majority of the people that I talk to really do want to make a change and help. And that's my promise to Mr. Ash, that I want to make a difference. You gave me something that I can make a difference. And I will forever be grateful for that. So I love you all. Miss Minnow, it's back to you.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for being you. All just a huge heart, as I always say. Thank you. Kiana, you have your hand up.
Hi, thank you, Manu. I know you were going to end it. It's funny, I had a post yesterday that said the purpose of life is the life of purpose. And then now you bring up the purpose, which is magnetic. And so I feel that all of you that are here are magnets, because as we all watched webinars and watched you speak and watched you, or heard you say all the things you say and the way you say it and everything are magnets that pull other people, because what you're saying means something to somebody, and that's a magnet. And I've came on here when I first came into On Passive, I had a lot of dreams that I felt were never going to happen because I, you know, a single mom and whatever, and just didn't have the money and the ability. And, but when you're thinking of others and then you come across Ash, he's the #1 magnet of all of us. And he brought in all these little magnets of positive energy. And we've all used it in our own way, big or small, and we're still looking for the other things to do, and we're all thinking of other things to do, and we're feeling things that we want to do. And that's part of our positive that we're bringing with Ash taking us. And the rest of the world is the negative that we all have to, in our little magnetic ways, we all have our own magnetic field, and then we're all going to connect to the negative magnets that are out there. And it's going to be done. It's going to be easier than we think, because we're all going to have our own magnets, and we're all going to have each other as support, and we can always call on each other to help us with all of this. And we're going to be big. We're going to be one giant magnet. I mean, the Earth's core is a magnet, and then we're all just going to suck it up from all of our positive energy, and we're going to make everything, whether it's air, earth, whatever, grow to positive things. Like Ash has so many other things that he's got as far as projects, and they're all going to be positive magnets for everything that's on the planet. So between animals, nature, humans, everybody, we're going to bring all the positive up through it. Thank you, Manu.
Thank you, Kiana. Thank you. Before we wrap it up, Bruce, if you have a few words to say. I was going to say thank you so much, Daryl and Collins, for being here, and also Francine. You guys have crazy hours there. But Bruce, go ahead, please. Thank you, Kiana.
Thank you.
Can you hear me okay? Good. Glad you can hear me, especially that Chris can hear me okay. That's the most important person to impress is Chris. Anyway, first of all, I want you to know I love you all with all my heart. There's nothing you can do about that. There's something that I learned a long time ago. It was about praying for God's will for me, and asking God what was God's will for me. So when I think about what it is I want to do for other people, I can only ask one thing, and I've come to an understanding that the one thing that is true in my heart is to serve others, to serve other people, no matter what it may be for. Because I may have the idea that I want to help a lot of homeless people and I want to do all these great things, but there may be just somebody alone in the world. Like maybe Rich is help, but they may be alone in the world. And it may be my purpose just to help that one person, because that's where it all comes down to. One person helping another. All of this is about a gathering of hearts. What we're doing here on Passive, and thank God for Ash Farah, who may not even understood his whole purpose, but he did understand one thing, was to be kind to other people. And when we're kind to other people, that polarization that Engineer Mike talks about, there are a lot of people who are wanting something in their life and they don't know how to get it. They stay stuck in negativity. And the people who are positive will attract negative people to them who are looking for a way or a solution. Because most people in the world are lost. Whether you're poor or you're rich, many people are lost. And if their heart is reaching out somewhere, God hears their prayer. God hears a prayer before we ever hear it. And God always speaks through us, through other people. And our job is just to listen. So one of the wonderful things about being in the gospel, like the gospel, going straight in the news. Just the good news is the gospel. I'm Jewish, I don't follow gospel. But the thing about it is just to always be grateful, be happy, and always remember to count your blessings. The greatest blessing of all was when Ashma Farah took me out of the hell of network marketing, which was something I really didn't want to do in my life, but it was something I thought I could help other people because I was dying from the disease that I had. And by finding network marketing, I found some solutions for other people. The problem was I got caught up in the money rather than the goodness, just helping people. So even though there's a great gift about money. The thing about money is that money was also created by God. Everything in this world was created by that power. No one leaves this world or stays in this world with God's permission. And so I remember to stay grateful and I remember to thankful and remember to be observant to know that whatever happens to anybody is always in divine order. So whatever happens on passive is also the most perfect gift of all because he gave us all, what Ash taught us all was the ability to be patient, the ability to be trustworthy, the ability to be kind to each other, the ability to listen to other people and not be stuck in our own negativity, and be able to find solutions rather than solution in our lives. So I'm grateful for Ash for knowing that that is the power of Unpassive. We had a great saying. We don't hear that very much anymore in Unpassive. It was also, I think, a backdrop at one time that was called Unpassive Uplifting Humanity. And what we do in Unpassive is uplift the spirit of all people. We uplift each other every day we're here. We're here as Unpassive because we've been Unpassive this way. But thank God Marty and Chris and everybody who's been on here has been able to speak to other people and reach out to other people, even letting them know that Unpassive is here. And if you just wait, it's like the builder of dreams. If we build it, they will come. And that's what Ash is doing with all of us. He's building us up. And one day, when Ash tells us, we will come out into the world and blow the world away. One thing I remember, though, I heard from my teacher, a teacher that I had a long time ago. He used to love to make pancakes in the morning in the ashram that I was in. And every time he made one, it would come out kind of round or whatever, and he'd laugh and say, perfect. And then he'd sing more. And he'd make another. And another would come out, be a little less round. And he'd go perfect, and he'd laugh when he'd sing. And once in a while, everyone would come out looking more like something really not so round. And he would still say, perfect. So everything, no matter how it comes out, is so perfect. So when even Asher told us to remember and never deny the fact that you are perfect, because God can only make perfect. Perfect can only make perfect. So we're perfect no matter what you think, Chris. You're perfect too. Big head and all. But anyway, I just want to tell you all, I love you very much. I'm very glad that you can hear me perfectly now. And I just wish that I could still speak louder. I'll get to that place at some point. But right now, I'm perfectly Bruce, exactly as I am. And I want to thank you all for being here.
Bruce, thank you. You're actually doing much better, brother. Thank you for not giving up. We also love you. Thank you so much. Thanks for regular participation and willing to share your words. We appreciate you. Stay strong. Thank you. All right, Mark Olson, you have your hand up, please.
Hey, hey, hey. I am so glad that you started this whole webinar. Look, I'm being attracted. The magnet, it's got me. It's got me. Yep. We'll be here forever. I believe that. You know, Ash started something with a dream, and that dream was to change people's lives. And you know what? That sparked my dreams of old, you know, and just knowing that On Passive is for everyone, for everyone. I'll say it again, for everyone, and they'll come through us, but you know, it's going to be like dominoes. It's going to be like dominoes. You know, there was a movie, and there is a movie out there. It's called Pay It Forward. And it's about a little boy that his mom was a active alcoholic and recovering alcoholic. It was, you know, but he had a school project, and they said, what can you do that's going to change the world? And he came up with this idea that, and he tried it out on his friends, you know, and then he ended up getting killed. But it was, you know, go out and help 3 people. Do something for them that they cannot do for themselves. And when you help them, you tell them, okay, now you got to help 3 people and 3 people, and it changed the world. That's On Passive. That's On Passive. You know, I just can't wait to expand and get that magnetic force. I didn't know any of you. And you know what? On Passive's magnetic force brought me in. You all have a great night. And I look forward. This is my, okay, get done with my sister's stuff and give her medicine. And man, I got to get this stuff done, you know, because Manu's on. Manu's on. Gotta go. Love you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Characters are welcome, Mark Olson. Thank you. Dr. Benny, I see something in the chat from you. Are you willing to say something, please?
Okay. Yes, just a little. I just want to, by the way, to say good evening. Sorry that I came late, but I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity just to say a few words. But I know that everybody has spoken, and I believe maybe I don't really have to say anything. But the only thing I want to say is I want to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing all of us together this evening. I'm thanking him because a lot of people are no longer here. Some of our brand ambassadors, or what they call them, self-affiliates, or our founding members, they are under the weather. So when you guys have time, let us pray for them so they can come back to us. Seriously, I want to really thank God for bringing an important person to all of us. Because if it wasn't for this individual, you and I will not be here. This evening, this morning, this afternoon, it all depends upon your location. He is our astonishing CEO, someone that I have never seen in my life. I have never seen a CEO that will come and communicate or chat with all of us. But the energy that the Lord has given him, I am so thrilled. And I pray that God should continue to guide and protect him and his entire family, as well as our new tech team. Now, when it comes to this magnetic power of purpose, it is like an invisible force that draws us together, which is our own goals. Now, when we have a clear sense of purpose, it energizes us, guiding action and decision even when the path is unclear, like a compass pointing north. Purpose align our effort, providing what? The direction and resilience when challenges arises. You guys understand what has happened within this, our company. The Lord is with us. So this inner drive create what? A momentum that pulls us forward, motivating us to overcome the obstacles and stay committed. When purposes is our anchor, we are less likely to feel lost or give up because we are constantly reminded of the deeper why our journey or why we are behind our journey. Thank you so much, Ms. Miller, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. All right, everybody, if nobody else has anything to say, we're going to wrap this up. I was going to say thank you so much, Mr. Ash, for this community, for this movement. Thank you, the Dream Tech team, for everything that you've been doing and you are doing. Let's stay excited. Let's share our 2%, as Marty mentioned. Love you until we meet again. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone. It was great.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
For all your
To
service.
everyone.
Night, everyone.